pretty gross, isn't it? Why is it legal?
It looks delicious.
That's why it's legal.
Yeah.
People think like that. Now, why would you have such a cold heart? This kid was just as human as you and me.
No, I'm okay.
Bestie, I'm an alien.
You're trying to be funny, but it's just not cool. Happening just down the street from here, people murdering their kids. It's not something we should pass off and blow off. Yeah, at the abortion mill on Spring Street, a few blocks from here.
They don't have abortions where they pass bills.
I'm sorry?
They don't have abortions where they pass bills.
Where they pass bills?
You said they passed a bill down the street?
You said they... I'm trying to make out what you're saying.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying there's an abortion center on Spring Street, just a few blocks from here. And maybe they don't kill the kids this late, but Leroy Carhart kills them this late in Bethesda. This is real. And you really should be caring instead of having such a cold heart at the murder of innocent children.
Why?
Because it's the right thing to do. I'm sorry?
Who says?
No, but you don't have, well, God does say, but you should have it in your own heart. Well, you do believe in God. You're just rejecting Him because you want to be able to do whatever you want, like everybody else.
I believe in gods, but I believe in Greek gods. So if you want to believe in that, for sure. But they support abortion.
Yeah, I know they do. That's why it's convenient for you to blink. Look, they don't play with me around. I mean, it's stupid, all right? See, this is what folks do when they want to justify wickedness. They stoop to stupidity.
I know how you're asking hurt.
You maybe not. I didn't say you were stupid. You're stooping to stupidity. There's no justification for this.
I mean, I don't know. That's what you believe. But I mean, just because we believe something else doesn't make us stupid.
I believe it because it's factually true. This is a human being, and you don't kill it. Well, there's no such thing as factually true to you. Alternate facts.
You compare the Bible to facts.
It's not factual.
The Bible is facts,
No,
but
it isn't. If you want to talk facts, by definition, the Bible is an opinion. Opinions are not facts.
really?
Yeah.
The Bible. Say, so you open up the dictionary, says opinion, the Bible. Come on, that's stupid. Come on.
The dictionary has references. You can't reference God.
Yes, you can, and many reading dictionaries do. Look, you all.
I'm asking
This
a
is so
question. Can I meet
ridiculous.
him?
I'm sorry.
Can I meet him?
You're meeting him right now.
Okay, look,
He's everywhere. Okay, and he does live in me as a Christian.
What if
That's
I'm
true.
God?
It's like,
So anyway.
if you want to like appeal to people, you know, like what you believe in, you shouldn't be going around believing that what you believe in is what everybody else believes in. Like, not everyone here is gonna believe in God. Like,
That's right.
What your base is off of abortion being wrong is off of the Bible, right?
It's off of right and wrong. Now the Bible governs what is right and wrong, but even atheists knows what is right and wrong.
That's what you say. The Bible governs what is
That is true.
wrong for Christians. Those are what their morals are. These people are not Christian, right? Most of the people you're appealing to probably aren't Christian. They're not going to believe what the Bible's morals are. They have their own.
I don't have to appeal directly to the Bible. I'm saying it governs what is right and wrong. Not that you have to have a Bible to know what is right and wrong.
You believe that the Bible governs right and wrong. Other people may not.
They may not, but they all have a conscience. And their conscience, in general, tells them that this is wrong until it's corrupted.
That doesn't look wrong to me.
That's because you're a modern teenager, or right above a teenager, and you've been preached lies to for quite a while.
No. So you're saying I have a conscience?
She goes to church.
Yes, I know. Well, many churches are corrupting people's minds too.
Doesn't believe in abortion, yet she still believes it.
It's off of my opinion. Like, from what I believe in to be right and wrong, this doesn't
There's no right and wrong opinion. That would make right and wrong nonsensical.
In my opinion, what I think is right and wrong to me is what my opinion is. That's what an opinion is. What you see
And
right and
break
wrong.
that down.
What
then.
other people see right and wrong is not what you see right and wrong. That's what you call an opinion, right?
No, that's an assessment. But there can only be one right and wrong. Either they're right that abortion's wrong, or you're right that it's okay.
It's right to people's perspective.
I'm sorry, man, that doesn't make much sense. I mean,
It doesn't have to make sense.
if I said that black people were subhuman, you wouldn't respect my opinion. You would say, no, you're wrong. Fix your brain.
You're wrong to me. That's what I
You
say.
can have whatever opinion you want. If you want to hate black people, you can.
You wouldn't say that if I was actually acting on that.
If you were acting
You know, all this garbage about moral relativism disappears. All this go to jail because society knows that it's wrong.
Yes.
All this moral relativism garbage, it disappears as soon as you break it down into actual actions.
Break it down for me.
As soon as people start acting upon it, it disappears. The morality of the Nazis was wicked. Okay?
Yeah,
we can say that. It's not an opinion. It was actually wicked. In the same way, I assert abortion is wrong and is actually wicked.
You know there's people who agree with Nazis, right?
Yeah, I do. They're wrong. Okay?
So there is both sides of it.
Exactly.
Wrong
But if
wrong
I asked
to
another
me.
Nazi if they were wrong, they'd tell you that they're right. It's all about perspective.
If you try to actually live like that,
live like
anybody
what?
could do anything to you whatsoever, and they would have no moral qualms about it. And all you could say is, I think it's wrong, and they could say, well, I don't. You know?
Exactly.
And the
That
small
is
person.
what life is. You can complain about abortion.
You're
all you want,
comfortable.
and people
You're
still
comfortable
have
saying
it.
that because you're in the first world where nobody generally is about to come out and hurt you. You come back after you've been raped or assaulted or attacked or injected with something wrong or oppressed in some way, and you tell me the same thing. I think it's all right to do whatever. And just, morality's just an
I've been
opinion.
hurt, but I can't expect everyone I meet to have the same opinion as me. The only reasons why laws exist is because this general society come together to decide that these are wrong. There's always going to be people who oppose that fact, right?
Does that make it a validating opinion? Just because there's no, it doesn't.
It's a widely shared opinion, which is why it's widely accepted. But there's still people who don't believe in it because it's not the general opinion.
And honey, you have no hope in life. Okay,
Yeah, I
no
do.
hope whatsoever.
You're
Because
saying that you're protesting
you've
to
erased
high
your
schoolers.
own values. You've erased
Your own
dignity. You've erased your own dignity. If dignity and morality is just an opinion and somebody's assessment, just how I feel, then not a single one of you is worth anything.
Okay, yeah.
You can believe that as much as you want. I don't have to care. We're out here.
It's not like I haven't heard this stuff before. It's that
Well, yeah, but you're out here, I'm
you're too
assuming
young to
you're
recognize the
I don't know
implications
how
of
old
it.
I am.
You just said that you were high schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, unless
And
you're
there's
very,
me.
very unintelligent, then you're probably about less than 17 years old. I don't think you've been held back that much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry the public school system has done you such a disservice to teach you this
The public
garbage.
school system is pro-life.
The public school
Hardly.
system doesn't push religion onto things.
And that's
In
what's
sex ed,
wrong
we're
with it.
taught abstinence,
Okay,
and the
but
worst
if
thing you
you
can do is to have an
want to
abortion.
go around, obviously I can't come up to you and tell you that this is the wrong sign to be putting out.
You
right?
can, but you would be
But
inaccurate.
I can't expect you to actually take it down.
I would like it if you debated science with me,
I'm
because
not trying
science
to
is on the
make
science.
science with you. I'm trying to tell you that if I came up to you and told you I didn't like what you were doing, and I full-heartedly believe that you would take it down just because I said so, I'd be wrong for that, right?
I'm not
But wouldn't I? Wouldn't I be wrong for that?
That would be inaccurate, yes.
Exactly. So you can't be expecting other people to have different opinions than you, and then expecting them to be wrong and insulting them and things like that. Look, whatever you
I don't
believe
think
in
that's
is
a
what
matter of opinion. I think people like you who tell me that this is okay are lying to yourselves, by and large. Now maybe
That's
you
what
guys
you
being
think.
young.
That's what
You
you
said
think.
Yeah,
think
yeah.
opinions. Your facts are not facts.
Like you can't be
Lady,
going around governing
you're
what's right or
erasing-
wrong just because you say
I don't
so.
govern. I have a conscience. I have
But you're going
complete
around
trust that
putting
being a
people
human being, you have the
below
same
you
conscience.
Just because they have a different opinion than
No,
you.
you're not below. You're all human
You
beings
just
created in the
called
image of
me
God, and you're valuable.
unintelligent. You just called me unintelligent and said I had no hope in life.
Because of the philosophy you're espousing. That
That's you.
there's no value.
They can say the
I
same
think
thing
you
for
have
you.
hope in
People
life.
say the same thing for you.
But it would be nonsense because
Okay, just the same way we can say what you're saying is nonsense. Neither of us are right. You're not wrong. I'm not right. The same goes the same way. It's opinion.
Girls, how can you chase your brain around like this in
There
nonsense?
is no chasing.
Crazy.
You have an opinion. I have
I've got-
an opinion. If you're not
Ain't
going to
no
tell
opinion.
me that I can't do what
Ain't
I
no
want, then I don't
opinion,
give a
and you know darn well it's wrong to murder innocent human beings.
No, I don't. Because
You
my
make that up
opinion is
because
right.
it's convenient.
I'm not making
Convenient
it
for
up.
what? I'm not
At
pregnant.
one point-
What is it convenient for? I'm not pregnant.
It's convenient for you to believe it in case you may be pregnant sometime.
I can't get pregnant.
Oh, crying out loud.
I don't plan on getting pregnant anytime soon. I really wouldn't care how anyone else would go about it. I don't plan
That's
on
it.
getting an abortion anytime soon. I don't see how it would affect me if someone else has it.
Because if it is a human being and you are required to help them, which you are,
No, I'm not.
all right,
Do I have to help
then
you?
by disregarding their humanity, you escape from that responsibility. So that is why it's very convenient
You
for
I
you,
don't have
which
that
is what this is all about.
Believe it.
Is there
That's
something
what
you
you
need?
believe it to be.
Okay.
There is no responsibility in this. I don't have to take care of you. You don't have to take care
Honey,
of me.
you are. We are all our brother's keeper. And
Am I
we
helping
are
you in any
responsible.
way?
No, but I don't need help. However, these
Exactly.
kids need a
So I
lot of
don't
help,
have
and
to
to
help
neglect them is wicked.
No.
Yeah. And I don't need to go back and forth with you about it. You know darn well
I mean,
it's
you're
wicked
out
to
here have
neglect innocent people.
conversations, So that's,
I do, but
Okay,
this is
but-
just contradiction back and forth.
To me, these people they're not people.
Why would you say they're not people? You have a
Because
reason
they're not
for it.
alive. That's what I believe in.
This picture's not there. The embryo picture's over there, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a living entity, all right? So
That's
by
what you
life,
believe to be.
not what I
That's what you
believe.
believe.
Okay, the embryo is giving off waste.
That's
It's,
what you believe to be.
what is the definition of life?
Eternal
Open up science textbooks. It's not a matter of opinion. They're taking in nutrients, giving off waste, growing, responding to stimuli. The embryo does all of that. It's alive.
To you.
Not
Okay,
to
let's
me.
say you're right.
That's the
Then that means you
encyclopedic
believe plants
definition.
are alive. You believe plants are alive,
They
right?
certainly are.
And you eat them.
That's right. Because plants are not human beings.
But they're
They're
still
not
Fetus,
alive,
the fetus,
though.
that's correct. Well, I'm only
You're
arguing
saying you're
life
pro-life.
because somebody here said that, you know, these children aren't alive, which they are. We've established that.
No,
Now,
haven't.
You very much have.
We're
I gave you the
thinking
definition of life, which you accept just like anybody else,
No.
except when it's
Okay,
convenient
let's
for you to
continue on
reject.
saying that they're alive.
All right.
Hypothetically, they are alive.
Okay.
Plants are also alive. Who
That's
cares
correct.
if they're not human? They're alive.
They are. I don't care about things just being alive necessarily. What I care about is things that are human. Actually, animals are also sacred too to God, but I wouldn't know that just by intuition. I do know that human beings, with the capacities that they have, the inherent capacities, have value.
So why don't you
And that is
protest
backed
for
up by the
vegans?
Bible. I'm sorry?
Protest for vegans then.
Well, God has told us we can eat animals, and so it's not
Protest pork
necessary.
eating.
I'm
Bible
sorry?
says you can't eat pork, so protest that.
He said that for the Old Testament. That doesn't apply today. So
the
it's
Bible still came from the same person, didn't it?
it did, but he can change the rules for particular groups of people as
It's like
time
we
goes
can
on.
change these rules.
I'm sorry?
It's like we can change these rules.
You,
to say it's
you're
okay.
not God in this, okay?
How do you know?
God wouldn't say such silly things.
But I'm saying it.
You wouldn't contradict what he had said in
I'm
the
not
past.
contradicting
Okay.
anything. I'm God changing my mind.
Okay, well, you better perform some miracle so I can know that you
I
are.
have performed a miracle. I'm here. My presence is a miracle.
Right. So am I, but that doesn't cut it. So this is a human organism, or was a human organism before its parents cut it to pieces.
Sure.
All right. What else
But the
would you
parents
What
didn't
else
do
would you need to be a human being, but to be a human
I
organism?
think, like, to be, like, self-sustaining.
Are any of us
A baby
self-sustaining?
in a mother's stomach cannot live on its own.
That's
really
correct.
don't
And
think
neither can
that
an
that's
infant
a
in its
full
mother's
life.
arms.
I don't think that it's a full
An infant will not drop dead if the mother puts it down. Versus
It will-
this, if you cut it out of its mother,
Mhm.
it's not there. It's not going to grow. It's not going to sustain itself. It's not there.
The infant will die within a short amount of time. It's just a matter of.
Still die.
It's just a. That's
Everything
right.
will
As will
die.
almost every one of us if left alone. That's why sustainability
but it's
is not
not
a
like-
gauge of whether
okay,
we're human.
But it's not like the only factor in that death is the fact that you're alone. When you're by yourself, you have no food, no water, you're gonna die because of that.
Mhm.
These
Are gonna
embryos
die 'cause they
that
have
get
no food, no
separated
water.
from their mothers are dying because they can't live without being in someone's belly. It's not because of any other reason. They just can't live without
What
being
does the
attached to
belly
something else.
provide them with? Nutrients and
Okay, so
protection
put it
from the
outside of
elements,
belly
which is
and
what
let
we're
it get
doing.
water and food for itself.
Well, actually, we can do that within a certain age
Yeah, I
with
can
the
do
child.
that.
With that child could have been sustained by
No.
with medical science.
If it was still in the same state it was in its mother's stomach, you're going
Yes.
to cut it out and it's going to go out and fend for itself. No.
No, and
You
neither
do
can
that.
an infant, and neither can either one of you, by the way,
Yeah.
or me. We don't fend for ourselves. We need all sorts of
I
things
get
to
my
survive.
food and my water by myself.
You
can
needed
pick up food
you needed a bottle
in
of
my
water,
mouth.
somebody to put the bottle, clean water in the bottle, give it to you. You needed society to survive. All of us need help. You put us in outer space or at the bottom of the ocean, we're gone. You put the child in an environment that nature did not put them in, and they will die. That is not a gauge to whether how human we are.
No, it's about whether or not we can do that kind of stuff for ourselves. If I'm hungry, I can pick up food, put it in my jaw, and chew it up and eat it.
You got to find food
They
first. You
can.
got to hunt it. You
That's
got
not
to
what
track it
They're
down.
not hunting food.
I know, because they're not at the age they can do it. Now, why
That's the whole
does
point.
being more capable make you more human?
It's not about being capable. It's about
That's the whole
being
argument you
able to
made.
stay
It's about
alive.
That's the whole
Self-sustenance.
being capable.
Oh my God. It's about like being able to stay alive without having to be attached
That's
to
the
another
whole.
human
Okay,
being.
attached. Okay, physically attached. Now, why is that different from the infant who needs help from mom to
You're not
stay alive?
physically
It's
attached.
not physically
And why does
attached.
being physically attached make that difference? Because now
Because you're not
Because-
self-sustenant.
neither is the infant that's not attached to
They
mom.
are self-sustenant.
They are not, honey. They can't do anything. They need to be
They're not
breastfed.
eating out of their mother's stomach. They're eating out of a
Out of her
box.
hand, out of their mother's hands. Oh, huge difference
It doesn't
there.
have to be the mother's hand. It can be literally anything. The fact that they can eat
But they're not
food
self-sustaining.
out of something that's not living is what makes them self-sustaining.
You have
Not
established.
the fact that they need someone else to be feeding, but the fact that they don't have to be eating out of someone else's body.
Okay, so we've established that they're human. We've established that that just needing help doesn't make a difference. But apparently, if you need help from a particular person in a particular manner,
It's
then
not
you're not
about
human.
needing
It's not about the help. A baby, you put food in front of it. Or it's not about giving the food. It's about you have this food here, the baby will eat it and chew it up and it'll
The
sustain
infant will
itself
not
off
eat
that
it
food.
until you put the food into his mouth.
You're not.
Have you ever had a kid before? Kids
seen
can eat
lots
by
of kids.
themselves.
It's
Not too young.
Yeah. Babies drink out of bottles by themselves all
A
the
newborn
time.
infant is not going to grab food and shove it in the mouth. They don't even have the motor
If you
skills.
put food in their mouth, are you the one actually shoving it down their throat? They can swallow that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
as does the embryo.
That's what
Through the umbilical cord.
self-sustaining is.
Yeah, through the
You've just
umbilical
made it.
cord.
You just
Yeah,
went this
exactly.
difference to this difference. That's all the
Yes,
difference.
They're chewing it up through the
Okay.
umbilical cord. What's the umbilical cord attached to? The mom.
Yeah, that's
the mom
right.
is literally
The
forcing this
mom
kind of stuff.
eats.
Just
It is
as she,
force-fed to them.
just as she would if the child was in her arms. Here's food versus food through the body
they're not
that
the
way.
one shoving
That's
it
such a
down their throat.
tiny
They're
difference. I
swallowing
can't
it
believe you
down.
actually believe that it makes any difference at all.
It's a tiny difference, and it does make
Only because
a very big difference.
I'm confident you're only saying that as many people do, just because that's the only way you can sustain this absurd idea that
I don't
that
care
thing
what
was
you're
not a human
confident
being.
in.
What
I
does it
know that's
serve
not
for
true.
me to do to sustain this? Like, outside of my argument right now, why should I give a shit about this? What does it
Because I
help
believe
me?
you're attached to an argument. You want to win an argument, like
I
most
don't
people
care.
do.
If you were right, I'd agree with you.
Plenty of people disagree with things, even though they know that they're wrong.
I know, but I'm
Okay,
telling you,
but
if
you
things
don't
can
know
be
us.
proven right, then I'll go with it. I don't care.
Yes, I've just done it beyond
No,
any
you haven't.
reasonable
No,
doubt.
you haven't.
You haven't
Well,
given
your
me
arguments-
any
your arguments
statistics,
in
you haven't
shatters.
given me any definitions,
You've
anything
just
at all.
been voicing your
I've given-
opinion
I've-
for like the past
I've
10
given you
minutes,
a-
and you've been thinking
Honey,
that
I've
it's
given you.
bad.
You break up any biology textbook, all right? The definition of life is as I gave it to you. You
Okay,
break up
but
any
that doesn't
embryology
apply
textbook,
to
they're
your
going to tell you that
argument
the zygote is a human organism.
That doesn't apply to your argument at all. You've just
It
been
doesn't.
saying things, quoting the Bible, and saying what you
I didn't quote the
believe.
Bible one time.
You didn't quote it,
You've
but
been
you
quoting-
referenced it.
You've been referencing it.
So I reference it. So the Bible agrees with what people
Okay,
basically
but
know in their
The Bible is not a
conscience.
proven fact.
That's amazing. You can
Well, it's
believe
very
in the
much a
Bible if
proven
you want.
fact.
It's not.
That's exactly
not
what I'm
facts
talking about.
are.
You've been saying things like that. A Bible is not a proven fact.
Really?
If it were, everybody here would be living by it.
Are you kidding me? People reject truth all the time. I mean, you think I'm rejecting the
It's
truth
only
that you
truth
believe.
to you. It's not true
I don't
to
think you're
anybody
rejecting the
else.
truth. I think you have a different opinion,
Then
but
now
I
you've-
agree
now
with my
you've tried
opinion,
to
so I
s-
try to persuade you. It's all opinions. You don't have to
If-
believe what I believe.
There would be no point in trying to persuade people of something if it wasn't objectively true outside of their opinion.
No, I want to persuade you because I believe it, and I want people to be like me because that's the world I want to live in. So if you believe what I believe, then that's a happy world for me. It's about me.
And that's what your perspective is too, but you can't go around saying things and then saying them as fact and expecting people to just take your word.
I don't expect them to be smart.
Like,
I don't
okay,
expect
if,
them to
okay,
write.
look. If I were somebody who had come to you and I actually had an abortion
Mhm.
and you were telling me these things, right?
The tone would be
You've never
different.
had an abortion before, right? And you were telling me these things and I don't believe that to be true because I actually had an abortion. How can you say that that's a fact? Like, how could you?
The same way I said it to you.
With the
Because
sexual incident?
facts are facts. They don't change just because you
They're
decide
only
they're
facts
not.
because you can't say
That building is
something
there.
a
It's
fact
not
just
not
because
there
you
just because I
believe
don't believe it.
it. You can't say something is a fact just because
I don't believe this pole is here, so I know it's here. Come on, it's stupid. Facts are facts, whether we're right or wrong
But
about
you
them.
can't say that something theoretical is a fact.
There's nothing theoretical about the
Yes, it is.
humanity of
Saying
this
that
child.
abortion is bad is something theoretical. Whether something is good or bad is someone's complete perspective.
You see, that is just an assertion of the modern world. That somehow morality is just
That's social
perspective.
the modern
It is
world,
not.
a fact. Not a fact. That's
It
social
is.
the
Look,
modern
read
world, not a fact.
any old books. You won't find any moral relativism
Not a fact,
until
though.
quite
It's
recently.
Like you just said, it's something of the social world, not a fact. One person can believe abortion is wrong. One person can believe that
Oh.
it's right. Who's to say which either one
Who's
is
to
right?
say? Look, y'all have a
Who's to
conscience and you
say?
know it. There's no
to
who's
say?
to say. It's not an
If
authority
my
issue.
conscience isn't telling me that it's bad, who's to say? You have
Your
no idea
conscience
what
does
my,
tell you it's
tell
bad.
your
You're
conscience
rejecting your
does. You
conscience.
can't
I'm not
tell.
going to degrade your humanity by pretending this absurdity that you think cold-blooded murder is okay.
It's not
It's
cold-blooded
not
murder.
cold-blooded
My
murder.
conscience doesn't tell me that's cold-blooded murder. Our consciences are different because we're different people. You're a man, I'm a woman. We have different experiences on that. I'm
We are
black,
both
you're
human
not.
beings.
Yes,
Ev-
we have that one similar thing, which is why we do similar things in life.
Not a
You
one
probably
similar
have a
thing.
job,
It is
I'm
the
gonna have to
core
get
of
a
what we
job.
are.
We're similar, yeah.
Okay.
We're not the same.
If that was true, we wouldn't be able to logic or reason whatsoever. Okay, and you might as well
we can
get.
for the most part. Have you seen the world?
Yes, I've seen the world.
Exactly.
Yes.
There isn't a lot of logic or reason.
If there wasn't, we wouldn't be able to build anything. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
what if
there's
someone
logic
came
and
here saying
reason.
that
Come
these
on.
buildings are bad?
Hmm?
What if if I came up to you and saying that these buildings are bad, you think that
They would
they're
have to
good?
explain why. They have to ground that in basic
Exactly,
principles.
they would have to explain why, but that
Okay.
doesn't say that me saying that these buildings are bad are a fact.
And I have broken down abortion as to why it's wrong. I've
To
demonstrated
you,
the
to you,
demonstrated the
to you.
humanity of the preborn
And
child,
I can come to
and
you
that
saying how
murder
it's
is wrong.
completely okay. Who's gonna say which one is right or wrong?
your conscience tells you it's right or
My
wrong
conscience
because I've
doesn't tell me
explained it
that.
to you right clearly.
My
Or
conscience
if
tells me
it
it's
doesn't,
fine.
it's because you've covered over your heart with a bitterness
That's
like
what
this
you
to
believe,
avoid.
though. That's what you believe. You don't know.
Because
what,
I'm not gonna.
You don't know who I am. You
Okay.
can't come to me saying that something's
Tell
covered
me
my
about
heart.
you and how you came to the conclusion abortion was okay, even though you grew up in a household or a church community that was against it.
Because I've seen experiences of people who've actually gone through abortions, what their situation is. And the fact that most people's like basis for abortion is just purely the Bible and not any, worldly thing, it just doesn't make sense to me. Because first of all, like I said, religion is completely an opinion to what someone wants to believe. It's a belief, right?
Did Jesus Christ rise from the dead or not?
That's a belief. You
That's not an
believe that
opinion. He
rose
either came from the dead or not.
Who's to say that he was alive? That's your
Well, all the
belief.
people that saw him can say that he was alive.
Did you see him?
No, but they did write down
They
texts.
lived thousands of years ago.
That's correct. But just because they lived doesn't mean, well, because they wrote down their experiences.
How did you know that those are true?
Well, if you've ever been in the Museum of the Bible, you can see the ancient
How
copies
do you
of those
know
documents.
that those artifacts are true? How do you know that?
The same way you know any archaeological evidence is true.
How? You
Well, you
don't.
ex-
For all we know, someone could have sculpted those dinosaur bones. We have no clue.
But you don't really believe that at
I
all.
don't
You
really
have
believe that
confidence.
because
You have
that's-
confidence in most things your textbooks tell you, except
I have confidence
when
in most
it
things that my textbooks tell me. They don't tell me
Yes.
that the Bible is 100% fact.
so you choose your textbooks to believe them instead of the Bible, which is far
The
older and
Bible
far
is
more
not a
backed up with
textbook.
evidence.
It's a religious book.
See, that's
It's a
just your
belief.
research. Now, what's that based on?
Based
Why
on-
are you confident with it? I'm sorry, Judy.